I'm gonna switch audio.
Okay. Let me know when we're ready to go.
Are you going to do the countdown, or should I do it?
Hang on, let me go back to the title screen. I'll probably do the countdown. So, is the audio levels good? Hello, everybody. Alright, let me know when you're ready. Or rather, I guess we're ready to go then, right? If there's anything up, then let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna start the countdown to start. Okay, I'm gonna start then. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hello everybody, this is RKSF Pamela mode. My name is Sairaan, and I commentate over Headfield. And I'll leave it at that.
Hello. So, as Sairaan said, this is RosenkreuzStilette Freudenstachel. The name for the game comes after the main character's weapon that she uses, main character being Freudia. But Sairaan is not playing as Freudia. Sairaan is playing as an alternative character that you have to put in a cheat code at the before the title screen to play as, who is Pamela. Unlike Freudia, this game's a Mega Man clone game, essentially. Freudia behaves like Mega Man does in the classic Mega Man series, where she slides and jumps and shoots projectiles. Pamela behaves a lot more like Zero from the Mega Man Zero series, so she can dash jump, wall jump, and has a sword, does combo slashes, a charge slash, and does not get boss weapons. So this stage that we're in here is Seek Day stage. This game has a lot of references to different franchises, mainly the Mega Man stage, the Mega Man franchise, but also a lot of Castlevania. This is like the Clock Tower areas in the Castlevania games. The Seek Day boss fight.
Okay.
The Seek Day boss fight has.
Fight.
Oh, dang.
It's alright. You can keep playing.
So every boss in this game has a desperation mode once they reach half hit point. And Seek Day's desperation mode stops time. If there's a quick kill where you can actually, if you delay the desperation attack by a little bit, and then do a certain series of slashes, you can actually kill her before she gets that off, but it's extremely precise, and your positioning on every slash and timing on everything has to be almost perfect, so it's a pretty hard strat to get in a marathon.
Yes. And therefore I opted for a slower strat where you wait until the desperation periods just pass by before triggering half HP. Anyways, now we're in Schwer stage.
Yeah, so this is what, Super Mario Land, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you can call it that.
So this, in my opinion, is one out of the only 2 easy stages in the game. This run is a very, very difficult run execution-wise. There's run killers on pretty much every stage besides this one, and I'd say Libia's stage is the only other one. This boss fight, however, is one of the major RNG points in the run. Most of the RNG in this game isn't too consequential for a speed run. It's pretty spread out evenly throughout the run, I would say, but this is one of the major points. Just like Seek Day, Schwer likes to go invincible for a while on her desperation attack. So you want to get her to be at 1 health above half hit points before her at the end of her first phase, so that you can finish her off in her second phase before she goes back down into the pipes. Otherwise, you lose about 5 seconds.
Yes, and just now I got good RNG, so I was able to pull it to a kill.
Yeah. In order to get that quick kill, so she tells you 3 possible places that she might spawn. She spawns in one of the 3, and then she has 2 dummies that spawn in the other one. So you have to, she basically pretty much has to be at an adjacent one, or if not one of the 2 adjacent ones, then it has to be right next to one of the adjacent ones, so your charge slash goes through and hits both of them. But Sairaan got the good RNG there. So we're on Grola's stage now. Grola's stage is...
Hang on, I'm just gonna tank here. This mid-boss is super scary. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah, so Astaroth does a bunch of contact damage. This stage, more than any other stage in the game, is all about health management. There's a lot of damage boosts in this stage that save time, and there are a lot of enemies that drop health, which might sound like a good thing. If it's big health, then it's kind of is, for safety's sake at least, but if it's small health, it freezes the game for just enough time. I think it's like, I don't know, 4 or 8 frames, I forget what the exact number is, but it freezes the game for just enough time to eat your inputs and make you dash directly into the next enemy. Which is very annoying, because if that happens, you can end up getting to the Grola fight with almost no HP. So, okay, so one thing that I haven't explained yet is Pamela's damage values on her slashes. So, I mentioned that she has a combo slash, which does 3 slashes, and then she has a charge slash, which takes about 1.4 seconds to charge up. So, the damage values for her different slashes are the 2 preliminary slashes and the combo slash deal 1 damage each. The third slash deals 2 damage. The projectile generated by that third slash does 1 damage, and the charge slash does 3 damage. The third slash in the combo has a property where it actually resets a boss's iframes, and you can, with optimal mashing...
Don't mind me.
Oh, Jesus. I do that all the time.
Oh my god, this frog guy.
With optimal mashing, you can do triple slashes about every half second, so that's... Because of the iframe resets, that's what, 4 DPS compared to the... I don't know, it would be with spamming charge slashes, but it's significantly less. So there's 2... I would categorize all of the bosses into this game into two different types of fights. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the health drop really tripped me there. Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty annoying final room in this stage. There's
Yeah, you have to land on the right side of the trampoline there, and it's really precise. I tried to play it safe, but the health drop really, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, small health drops are horrible in this game. Big health drops you can react to. Small health drops just not a good time.
But yeah, basically the fastest way you can do damage is simply mashing out your triple slash, which, because the third slash ignores phone barrier frames. Anyways, this is Dolus.
So this boss is, I think, a reference to Web Spider from X4. This is one of the other kind of RNG heavy bosses in the run. Not quite as much as Schwer. But she can either throw shurikens or she can kind of charge you at the wall. You want her to throw shurikens, and you damage boost off the shuriken, so you can just spam triple slashes on her. Since triple slashing... Oh, so...
You can keep going.
Since we're at Trier stage now, I should mention... since Pamela doesn't get weaknesses from bosses, the route doesn't really matter for her, except for one stipulation, and that is that Trier needs to be before Zorn, because they both help each other out on each other's fights, depending on which one is still alive. But coming up here, we have the current room skip.
I got it.
Alright, cool. So what he did there is, when he jumped down off that big cliff, initially, he did a max height jump, which you normally wouldn't do under normal circumstances, because that wastes about a second just floating up in the air and then falling back down. But what he did there was he was manipulating his pixel positioning along the y-axis so that he could get underneath the ceiling coming up on the first possible frame, or he would get it under on the first possible frame regardless, but so that during that frame he is as high up as possible, because the camera lock does not lift at that point yet. If he's it lifts based on his Y position, so he wants to be able to start moving right before the camera lock is lifted, and that allows him to get ahead of the camera. And for some reason in this game, walls don't spawn if they're off screen, I guess, so
yeah.
He used that to zip.
So you basically get into a wall and you zip from being inside the wall.
Yeah.
I should probably take this time to mention that when I'm dashing, I'm not constantly holding down dash or anything. I'm actually timing my dash inputs. And I believe it's like once every 30 frames to chain dash, and it's like a 3-frame window.
Yeah. I forget what the Sword Girl interval is, but it is a 3-frame window every dash to chain them perfectly together.
Anyways, this is Soren stage. There's not too much to mention about this stage aside from the contact with the Soren bots does a lot of damage, and the fire pillars in the stage also do a lot of damage. Under the fastest circumstances, I would normally dash boost off of many things in the stage and make the stage really scary to run through with such low health, but I played it safe here.
Yeah, in RTA attempts, the fastest strats involve being one hit from dead going into the Zorn fight.
Pretty much.
Those strats save very little frames.
Anyways, here's Zorn.
So Zorn, you want her, she has a couple different attacks she can do. She can throw bombs, or she can jump towards the wall and then dive bomb you. You want her to throw bombs, because that lets you get off a couple charge slashes and a couple triple slashes.
Basically, Zorn has like 3 different attacks, and she's pretty much random. And you basically have to adapt to all of her attacks. But yes, when she sets down spots and throws at you, that's the most ideal. And I had really good RNG there, but I just simply could not that well enough.
Yeah, so I kind of categorize the bosses in this game into two separate categories. One of which is bosses that have a bunch of different random patterns, and you have to be able to react to their patterns quickly to know when you can go in to hit them with triple slashes repeatedly, or when you can't do that and you have to stay back and do charge slashes and avoid taking damage from them. And then there's the other half of the bosses are very low RNG bosses that have insanely precise, difficult quick kills. Zoran's one of the RNG related ones. Coming up here in this next room, we have the Crusher Cycle skip, I think. It's a really finicky skip.
I got it.
Alright, cool. Basically, the projectile that Pamela shoots from her triple slash follows the Y-axis movement of the crusher that she's on. So you need to shoot it at a specific time during its oscillation so that it goes down and hits certain blocks, and you can use that to do to get through one of the sets of blocks while charging, so you can use that charge slash on the next set. Then you have to do what's called a rising charge slash, where you jump and then do a charge slash immediately after, which sounds, I mean, it's simple in concept, but since you're releasing the slash input and jumping beforehand, sometimes it can get a little messy and you can accidentally do a slash on the ground, which makes Pamela stop moving, and then you just die to the crushers. Here's Libya stage. This is the only other stage besides Schwer that I think is easy.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, Christmas thing. The only thing you have to worry about on this stage are the snow. You sink into it if you just stand there, but one of the other weird things about the snow is that... Uh-oh.
I was blindsided by the snowstorm. I'll play the second stage.
You can't see Pamela when the snowstorm is covering the foreground, obviously, but you can still see the hexagram from her charge slash. So a pretty common strat is to just hold a charge slash during that section there.
And that time I didn't do it because I had a different strat going through the room where I'll actually slash on the dinosaurs. But it's alright. So there's Libya. She basically behaves, I think, like Toadman, and she hops around a lot. And it's really tricky getting her slashes as she hops around. Alright, that was the fight.
Yeah, you need really really well-timed and positioned dashes to be able to not only follow her, but to be able to get a triple slash off on her each jump. If you feel yourself getting kind of behind, then you want to just play it safe and go for a charge slash. So now we get to the Black Fortress stage, which are consecutively the 4 hardest stages in the run, I would say. First off is Eifer stage. I'm
just gonna kill myself real quick because I have 0 lives and it'll be bad to die later.
Tactical
game
suicide.
over. Yep.
This stage kind of sucks for Pamela. So Freudia slides at 6 pixels per frame. Pamela dashes at 7 per frame.
I don't know why I messed that up.
And it just so happens that I think these platforms work out perfectly for Freudia sliding along them, but for Pamela, if you accidentally walk off of them and then it eats your dash and jump input, then you'll just walk off the edge and die, and it's pretty annoying. So you have to, each time before you land, you have to let go forward and then jump without holding forward and then repress forward in the air if you want to play it safe. Like a task would obviously never let go forward, but for humans, a death this late in the run is pretty not good.
Yeah, Pamela's dash is slightly faster than Freudia's speed, or slide.
Oh, so coming up, you're going to see a really neat example of how this game was balanced for a Mega Man character and not a Mega Man Zero character. So the Refractia, or Eifer maze skip, for Freudia is extremely difficult. You have to freeze some projectiles in the air and do some really precise timing of the freeze move, and then use the rush spring to... It's ridiculous, but Pamela just climbs the wall,
Like,
no problem.
Freudia's push cannot be put into words. It's absolutely insane. If you're familiar with Mega Man 10, it involves coil jets. Alright, so hit this Eifer.
So Eifer has, I think, 3 different moves she can do, and
Yes.
each of them get a little bit stronger and harder to avoid when she is in desperation mode.
1 HP!
Oh no, that was bad R&D there to have that little HP going into the fight. Normally you just damage boost off that attack, but
Yeah, I wasn't watching my health.
the thing about the Eifer fight is that it's very easy to get behind her on her patterns, and if you do happen to get behind, the fight just snowballs out of control. Like, it's not a hard fight to execute, like you saw there.
Yeah, that was flawless. I'm mad. But
You
yeah,
don't make any mistakes. It's not that hard of a
it's
fight, but if
easy,
you
but-
make one, like, everything just goes out of control.
everything just desyncs and it's just a big disaster.
So now we have a Umbacont stage. The identity of this boss just may surprise you. Or will it? This is a really nerve-wracking stage. Even though execution-wise, I'd say it's probably the easiest of the 4 Black Fortress stages, there's still 3 parts in the stage that you can easily just die. Sairaan's already gotten past 2 of them around the those moving platforms and the spikes beforehand. Coming up is Pendulum Jump. You'll notice I'm walking a little bit here.
I messed it up
to
completely.
manipulate.
But yeah, I was walking to the set of something based on how the AI in the room works.
Yeah. The pendulum spawns at the very beginning of the room, so he was trying to line it up better with the daggers from the maids. So here we get to fight Simon Belmondo.
Oh, sorry. You take a lot of damage in this fight, so I'm gonna use the E-Tank here. Oh.
Who turns out does not have a very complicated AI. When he hits desperation, he just eats a T-bone steak or whatever.
For the most part, just
And then-
stands there, yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
Just stands
unfortunately, you cannot skip his T-bone. I've tried a lot, and I just simply cannot skip it. Alright, here's the Refractia Twin stage. This stage is probably what I would say one of the worst runs in the Black Cross stages.
Black Cross. I was saying Black Fortress. Yeah, so this is like... I'm pretty sure it's a reference to the library areas from Castlevania games. So you'll notice the recurring theme in the Black Cross stages of lots of instant death everywhere, lots of spikes, lots of pitfalls, lots of very annoyingly placed enemies over pitfalls. Very easy to die in these stages. Those paintings that are hanging around, if you get hit by them, you fall into the pit and die. So the Refractia twins, One of them takes damage, one of them heals their collective hit point bar. I don't know which is which. Looks like Sairaan's attacking the right one, though.
Yeah, the one that you want to hit is named Lek, and the one that you don't want to hit is named Rink.
So, Sriracha stage, this is... I think this is the most difficult of the Black Cross stages. Particularly the final room.
Yeah. You want to go for like all the fast stuff, this stage is... it's definitely one of the hardest ones. But we'll get to that soon.
So in a couple different rooms in this stage, there's a giant Met in the background. You want to be in the air when he stomps, otherwise you get knocked back.
You get stunned. Alright, that was the quick kill on the giant Met mini-boss. Not much to say about it.
Oh yeah, there's the giant mini-boss and the boss in this stage have guarding mechanics where when they're in a certain animation sprite, they take less damage, so you need to time your attacks in a certain way around those.
So the following blocks in this area, they are triggered based on when you approach them. Earlier in the room, I could have jumped far enough to trigger 5 blocks to fall down and basically get across the entire room in 1 cycle, but I only triggered 4 blocks there, so I had to wait an extra cycle. A little tiny time saver, and it's really difficult.
Yeah, you gotta be real ambitious with that spike jump if you want to get 5 blocks there. So whenever Sriracha is holding... Don't tell me.
I got grabbed! That's embarrassing, but that's a classic. You're dead. I don't want to see you ever again. That is pretty much the worst case scenario with this boss, that she just stuns and grabs you.
Aside from the soft lock.
Yes, yes. I do have quite a reputation with getting grabbed by her.
Getting grabbed by her is kind of finicky. She lunges at you at certain points during the fight, but how far she lunges is RNG, I think.
I don't know if it's RNG, but it can be finicky.
It's weird.
Sometimes it just grabs you, yeah.
So now we're at the Iris Fortress. Iris Fortress introduces more instant death mechanics, less spikes, now more lasers. There's a couple laser skips in this stage that are kind of precise, one involving a damage boost and one just involving some precise timing on your movement.
Yep, and just right here.
So there, Sairaan, hit the laser generator.
I got it.
So you could...
I got your setup.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so Sairaan just nailed both of the run killer spots in this stage.
Uh-oh. Okay, that was close. I went on that platform too early.
So this last room is just a nice, laggy laser maze.
So I never really got to cover this, but if you were to dash into a door, for some bosses it triggers the cutscene and lets you like wall jump off the side of the room immediately. Oh, okay. But yeah, that lets you set yourself at the beginning of the fight. Although I messed it up just now, so this fight's gonna go south.
So this is Belgard or Sepran. If he gives you bad RNG, which Sairaan is getting ample amounts of right now, you'll have to use an E-Tank. You can also soft lock here if you move after the fight ends. The fastest way to damage him is to just triple slash him while standing on his claw.
Yeah, on the very edge of the platform he has in the room. It's easy to fall off, especially if he knocks you back. I'm going to take another tactical depth here because I just know I have 0 lives. But this is Iris 2. There's a lot of neat little gimmicks in this stage, and also it's... I want to say it's very fun and easy in practice. It's personally my favorite stage, but it's very nerve-wracking to run for the latter half of the stage, and I'll let him explain why.
Yeah, so in addition to pitfalls, now instant death lava are. Now we have, I think, invisible spikes. There's lots of ways for the game to kill you on this stage. Oh, and invisible blocks. We got some fire coming up out of the lava that tries to knock you down inside of it.
Okay, I'm gonna play that section safe. The underwater maze that's invisible is really easy to die there. The platform there is really tricky. Anyways,
that is not a fun room.
Yeah. Coming up this purple devil.
So, Deviled Egg in the first game is the hardest part of the run for Grola, the Sword Girl in RosenkreuzStilette. Very difficult fight with, I think, a 10-frame window to get double hits on every cycle. Dark Devil, however, for Pamela is a complete joke and lasts like a minute and a half or something, and it's completely trivial. You can climb the wall.
Yeah, I'll show that in a bit. Oh, what am I doing?
Or you can swag it up and dodge the balls in the middle.
Yeah, you can do this. But I'm not very good at this, so I don't want to do it. It tires me out. And the thing about it is that all of its patterns are static. But unfortunately, there's no faster way to speed up the fight. You have to last through 7 cycles. Of course, the risk of me doing this, I tend to get hit every now and then. And that can kill me and force me to restart the fight. Do I have an E-Tank? I have no idea.
I think you're out.
Okay.
Unless because you didn't get one in this stage.
I think I'll be fine.
Luckily, however, I should say, the boss that this boss is based off, Shadow Devil from Mega Man X5, luckily does not share the same RNG nonsense that boss has. That boss is pretty notorious for just ending runs with bad RNG. Like, the eye spawns in a random location, and if it spawns near the bottom, you can just spam slash the eye and cut out a couple of cycles, which, if that happened in this fight, you'd be able to do that with triple slashes, but luckily it doesn't, so it's just a boring fight, but luckily it's not an RNG run killer. So now we're on the boss rush stage. This is actually my favorite stage in the game. The boss rush strategies actually change up some of them change up quite a bit from their earlier counterparts in the run. Some of them just change a little bit in the sense that you want to remove damage boosting strats, which costs a little bit of time, but
I forgot.
Is a net time save from not having to heal afterwards. Sairaan was just a couple frames late there on the forcing her desperation phase, so she ended up getting another vortex off, which I think makes her guard and take less damage.
Yes.
So the Libya fight is essentially the same, except the room is just a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to get in between her and the wall because there's less space there. Other than that, the fight's essentially identical. And I think her projectiles can hit you.
Yes, did hit you
in this refight afterwards.
Yes. So even after the fight's over, you want to be careful. She hasn't changed from what I'm doing. Oh, whoops.
The Sike fight is identical to the safe strat in the first fight, where you let her get her desperation move off. You can't really do the quick kill in the refight because you start further away. in the first fight you do jump into the room. The Luce fight is a lot harder to get the quick kill because of the fact that you start further away. So Sairaan barely missed the first charge slash there.
Yeah, that was
just going to have to do an additional charge slash in the first phase.
Also,
it's really precise, the timing on it.
The platforms here are RNG, so I'm getting really bad luck right now. And her getting the other side here is really bad. But we got through it, so it's okay. Gorilla hasn't changed very much, aside from you just want to play things more safe. Because you want to match your health more. In a regular play, she has damage boosting strats. But you don't opt to go for them here.
Yeah. So she has a couple different moves where she can do that dash across the room, or she can do blade beams. If you get between her and the wall when she's really close to the wall, she'll just spam blade beams at you, and you'll be taking damage from it. It cuts out some RNG and makes the fight a little bit faster, or maybe about the same. But you don't do that in the refight because it costs health, and health is a limited resource. The Schwer fight is the same, it's just the same RNG quick kill.
Yeah, I got alpha RNG there, so you got to see the giant get your BGW set piece ready.
Big Zeppy.
Those hasn't changed very much.
Yeah, actually, routing the optimal damage route through the boss rush, if you play everything flawlessly and don't take damage on any other bosses, you ideally do full damage boost strats on Dullus still. You damage boost off both shuriken attacks, and okay, was that the god pattern?
No, I don't know. No, it wasn't.
Oh. Oh, but that was two fumbles though.
Yeah, that is uncommon. Once again, Storm doesn't really change very much, aside from you start further away. Alright, and here's Iris Machine.
This is probably the most annoying fight in the game. It's a lot of mashing, a lot of precise dashes to dodge certain shots, some precise damage boosts.
Precise jumps.
Yeah.
Did you know I was jumping at 2 different heights earlier?
In the second phase, you'll see Sairaan doing a lot of not spamming his triple slashes, but using them once every second. The reason for that is because the boss doesn't have iframes. They'll take 3 damage from the third slash, but if they do, they'll take only 2. But you can't just sit there and rail into her because she's shooting those purple balls at you, so you have to do 1 for 3 damage, dash away, dodge the purple ball, go back and do 3 damage. And if you jump the gun too much during her transitions, you'll end up only doing 2 damage and not be able to get the quick kill there. So now we're coming up on the final stage. The boss's identity just may surprise you. Or will it? Sairaan going man mode and not getting the E-hit?
I think I still have the E-thing from Iris 3, so yeah, I won't be doing that one. Cool. So here's Tia. This is the protagonist of the first RTS game. This is also my favorite fight in the game.
Yeah, this fight's a lot of fun. You have to be able to react quickly to her different attacks. All of her attacks, she tells you what she's going to do a little bit beforehand, so you got to be able to react to it and know how to dodge it. Once you get into the second phase, Iris phase, so this is good RNG. You want her to spawn low here because it allows you to spam triple slashes on her. The damage values that Iris takes from triple slashes and charge slashes respectively are different than other bosses. She only takes 2 damage from charge slashes, so you really want to...
That was unreal.
That was a good fight.
That was a really good second phase, or Iris phase. So yeah, normally, if she spawns higher and I didn't do my triple slash, she was still... Oh, that was time, by the way. But yeah, normally, if the Iris part of the fight generally has 4 different phases, and usually if she doesn't spawn low enough early, you had to advance to an additional phase. But just now she spawned low enough, I got all my damage in, and I was able to skip that third phase.
So yeah, that was RosenkreuzStilette Pamela shoe percent.
Yep. Look at her march in that shoe. Thank you, everybody. Alright guys, thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you, Sairaan, for the run. Thank you, Hetty, for the commentary.
Yes, thank you all.
Right.
So,
Next up we have Megamari.
the stream's gonna go down very quickly.